Welcome to this week's Lokar Car Show. We're down south in the Peach State at the Atlanta Motor Speedway for Atlanta Motorama. The sky was blue and the sun was shining as people gathered for monster trucks, a barbecue competition, and an assortment of cool and classic rides. This 41 Ford pickup was pulled by its owner from one shop so it could be rebuilt and finished with Christina Young.
The truck came to our shop from Ed Sears out of Annapolis. It was originally started at another shop, which they had stretched the cab a total of 8 inches, and the customer pulled the truck, brought it to us to complete it. We had to do a few modifications to some of the work that was done prior to it coming to us, and we had to completely change a lot of the modifications that are on there. The customer originally wanted to build the truck for Truck of the Year, and midway through it we changed it up and decided to go for the Riddler. She has an automated hood and bed that raises up with a Wi-Fi remote to our phone, and she's got a flathead Ford motor and custom interior by Lucky 7. Custom paint, one off-road and custom. The truck was in a primer stage when it came to us. The motor was still in the crate. We did a few modifications to that by painting it and building a few custom fuel lines, brake lines, and things like that. This truck has been all over the country. She went all the way to Arizona after doing a Good Guys circuit last year, and we had to go out there for the finals for Truck of the Year and ended up winning that. And then just went to a show in North Carolina and won another Truck of the Year.
Ryan's Rod Customs completely restored and customized this 56 Continental Mark II after locating it on Craigslist in Georgia.
Today I brought the Atlanta Motorama 1956 Continental Mark II. This actually has some Georgia history. It belonged to Susan Hayward, the actress from the 40s and 50s. It was actually in Carrollton, Georgia, and was pretty much a basket case when we got the thing. We chopped the top 2 inches, de-hatted it 3/4 of an inch, stretched the quarter panels, molded the bumpers in front and rear. Being a true custom guy that I am, I wanted to make almost an homage to the custom legends, the Winfields, the DeAgostinos, the Doors, the Barrises. So that's what we were looking for when we did this car. We molded the bumpers in, shaved the handle, shaved the hood, put some really bright metal flake PPG crystalline paint on it with some red candy. Chuck Hanna from Mooresville, North Carolina handled the interior. It's got 64 and 5 T-Bird bucket seats covered in white leather, Mercedes carpet, one-off floating console in the middle, a custom dash with 60 Chrysler Imperial steering wheel, and a 60 letter car instrument cluster into the center of the car. It has one-off wheels from Mike Curtis from Curtis Speed. They're actually a 20-inch wheel that mimic a original 15-inch white wall, but we can get the performance of the 20-inch wheel and the larger brakes by doing it that way. Dan Baker from Illumicraft handled the grill, one-off coil covers, and engine cover for it.
At the Tri-5 Nationals, Troy Shuttlesworth came across a guy who helped him find his 1932 3-window coupe.
I got the body about 20 years ago. I was trying to find a 3-winner body, and I was at the Nationals. I'm a metal man, so this guy I was talking to, he says, well, I can't say it's any cheaper, but he told me where I could go get that roach out body, so I went up there the next day and got it. And what it was an old 50s show car painted lime green, the old green that we had back in the 50s and everything, that had a padded top and all that stuff. But they had sent it out to some shop to get the top shop, and they had filed it all up, but it took me about an hour to get it straightened back up when I got to the house. The frame is a 1932 Ford frame that's been lengthened 3 inches, And the engine, like I say, is a 58 Chrysler Imperial Hemi, which we run when I was in drag racing. The reason you run the 58 Chrysler Hemi, it's got a larger nickel content, so they won't tear up and bust as easy.
When his Ferrari dealer called him about buying a new one, Ronnie Powers jumped at the chance to get his hands on this 2017 Ferrari GTB Spider.
I placed an order for the car. The paint on it is Bianchi Fuji, which to my knowledge, I think I'm probably one of just a handful that have been painted that color. And that option was a lot more money and took another month, 30-day delivery time. I really enjoy the car. I've got a Ford GT and I've got a new Ford GT on order, and I've got the 458 Speciale. So out of all those cars, now not having had the new Ford GT, I can't say about that, but this car is, in my opinion, one of the best ones I've owned. And I've had an Enzo Ferrari and stuff like that. So I've had quite a broad range of high-performance vehicles, and to me, this is the best. So I really enjoy it. I drive it all the time. I think I've got 6,000 miles on it. I drove Pacific Coast Highway in it and just really had a blast. So looking forward to getting the new Ford GT. My order date is 60 days away, and once I get that, we'll see. Hopefully this one will stay my favorite.
We'll be right back with more amazing cars on the Lokar Car Show, presented by Original Parts Group. The Lokar Car Show, presented by Original Parts Group, is brought to you by Heart of Appalachia. Virginia is for lovers. Original Parts Group, world-class restoration parts. Brothers Truck Parts, your #1 source for 1947 to 87 Chevy and GM truck restoration. Lokar, quality, plain and simple. Bradley Gray said that when he saw and bought this '96 Camaro, it was a complete wreck. Nice work, Bradley.
Well, it's a '69 Camaro. I purchased the car probably 20 years ago, roughly. I brought it home from South Carolina. It was a wreck. It was a pretty good car to begin with, but it was in just piles of pieces. We brought it home. I originally built the car, put it on the street. Definitely always been a budget deal. It took time, you know. And then it's one of them deals, it just progresses. We started off with, we painted it and so on and so forth. I drove it on the street for a long time just in primer. Then it just ramped up to where we're at today. And like I say, went in stages, paint, interior, so on and so forth. And it's a 468 big block Chevrolet, 350 turbo, 4500 converter, a couple twin turbos, 1471 blower. It's nothing, it's not set on kill. The car runs, the car drives, the car does what it's supposed to do, doesn't run hot, so on and so forth. But at the same time, it's a little wild, it's a little wild factor. But that's about the size of it. It's guards red, Porsche red, and the interior and all that stuff, is one-off stuff, custom interior and such. 12-point cage, funny car cage and things. Got a little shot of nitrous on the car. And that's about the size of it, really. It's a show car, it's not a race car, but it could be driven. I can drive it, so on and so forth, but it's not a race car by no stretch. It's just an outrageous show car, and it does what I built it for. It does it well, you know what I mean? We have a good time with the car.
He loved Morgans all his life, so when he got the chance, this owner had to have this '95 Morgan Roadster.
I bought this car in 2010 from a gentleman in California, Bill Fink, who is one of the oldest Morgan dealers in the country. Bill built this car for me. It has an LS3 Corvette engine in it. Bill calls these cars MOG Vets, Morgan Vet cars. And when he took him 4 years to finish it, but once it was done, my daughter and I drove it cross country, all the way from San Francisco to LA and then to Atlanta, Georgia. The car currently I keep it here in Atlanta, but I also had a person here help me do additional restoration here in Atlanta. I chose the color scheme to match pre-war British race cars that had black fenders and a British racing green body. And so I converted all of that, and then I also had the interior done so that it would match a car, a Morgan like this from the 1960s. I've had a number of English cars over my life, mostly Triumphs, and I had an MGTD at one point, but I always wanted to have a Morgan. So this has been a very special purchase for me. My plan right now is really just to keep it, drive it daily, whenever it's not raining, winter or spring or summer, and just have fun with it.
It's time for Lokar Lowdown with Jeffrey Walls.
I'm here today to share with you one of Lokar's recently acquired brands, Clayton Machine Works. We offer a wide variety of products for your muscle cars and later model trucks. And for example, we offer a 67-72 C10 truck bezel. These bezels come fitting your factory gauges or any aftermarket gauges, and you can replace that wood grain finish that you currently have in that old truck. We have options with carbon fiber and a gray overlay. We've got brushed finish with a pinstripe or a simple gray overlay on that brush finish. Please check these out and more of our Clayton Machine Works products at claytonmachine.com or visit us at the Lokar booth on this year's tour.
Welcome back to the Lokar Car Show, presented by Original Parts Group. This owner pulled his 49 Chevy 3100 out of a barn 8 years ago. And now he likes to pull his 68 Cerro Scotty camper with it.
It's a straight 6-cylinder with a 5-speed out of a S10 and a 12-bolt rear end. And I restored it myself and did the paint. It's my own color. And we pulled it out of a barn, and we've been driving it and enjoying it for about 8 years now. And it does good. It really drives good. And we pull a camper with it, go to the major shows. And it's a 68 Cerro Scotty, and it'll sleep 2, very comfortable with air conditioning, and tows very well, and it's still very, very comfortable and tows real good. The truck and trailer just is a good match. They just merge with traffic real well. We keep up on highway speeds and no problem on that. Well, I think I'll leave the truck alone. It's era correct. Everything under it's kind of it's a drop straight axle. So we'll probably leave it alone and start on another project. Why start another one when you can keep out in the way it is? But the truck's got air conditioning and very comfortable truck.
Donald Hood Jr. says his 72 VW Beetle was kind of rough when he got it, but hey, look at it now that he's done a full restoration on it.
I bought it in 2010, and it was kind of rough, and I done a complete registration on it from top to bottom. It took me 2 years to build. It's got a 1776 motor in it. Synergy green, it's a color on it. I enjoyed building it. Like I said, it was pretty rough when I first got it, but it come along pretty good. I've won 104 trophies with it, and I've been thinking about selling it. Yeah, I think about building a 69 Volkswagen Roadster. It gets a lot of compliments. Yeah, I just drive it to car shows and stuff. If I go anywhere far off, I haul it. Oh, it's huge. I love it. It's a big to-do. Meet a lot of interesting people. Talk to a lot of people. Of course, a lot of people say, I learned how to drive a stick in a Volkswagen. Yeah, me and my dad started working on bugs in the 70s, and he passed away in '96. And he actually had 24 bugs. And I lost interest, and my mother had them hauled off. And I decided I wanted to build another one. This was 15, 16 years later, so I found this one. and started on it. And I loved it. I think my dad would be proud of me.
Original Parts Group Incorporated Restoration Tip.
Here at Original Parts Group, we've got an awesome selection of classic GM muscle cars. Our latest example is this pristine 1987 Buick Grand National. This is a low mileage original California car, and we have decided we're going to start making the emblems on this vehicle. So the first up that are going to be coming out soon are the hood emblem, the SFI 3.8 liter turbo that fits on the either side of that hood bulge. And then we've also got the correct trunk lid emblem for 1984 to 1987 Grand National. The hood emblem is with the correct black sides and the fully chrome plated front, just the way GM did it. And the trunk emblem is completely chrome plated, also the way GM did it. We also are manufacturing now this Buick trunk lid emblem, which is 1982 to 1987 Regal, all Buick G-body line. And in the future, we plan on manufacturing many of the other emblems and nameplates that are on the Buick Grand National and Regal line. You can order all of these parts at opgi.com or call us today for your free full color catalog.
We'll be right back with more amazing cars on the Lokar Car Show, presented by Original Parts Group. The Lokar Car Show, presented by Original Parts Group, has been brought to you by Rod End Supply. We don't just sell them, we race them. H&M Saw, the saw that cuts straight. McKee's 37, complete auto and RV care. Advertising Edge, the official uniform of the NHRA. 6 years ago, Paul Paleo purchased a 33 Ford in Kentucky and took it down to Tampa, Florida for a full front-to-back restoration.
Well, this is a 1933 Ford sedan. I bought it about 6 years ago, my first car from Kentucky. Bought it in Kentucky, brought it down to Tampa, Florida. Since we've had the car, we've gone through it from the front to the back. We've repainted the car, put a new engine, transmission, rear end, completely rewired it, did the interior, just made it our car. So we really enjoy it. My wife, this is her favorite car. We've got a 3-car stable, and we enjoy just rotating them around. One car show we'll take the 33, then we might take the 32 or the 37. Well, the first time I came to this car show was last year, and I had an absolute blast. My wife and I were just amazed at how many different things they had for the older generation as well as the millennials and the Gen X's. So we invited about 20-25 of our friends to come this year, and it's been a blast. They've got so much to do for everybody, so it's part of our regular car show agenda now every year. It's done fairly well at shows. It's got picked a number of times for paint as well as just pros pick. So we're very pleased with the reception that we've had at the shows.
Larry Swim, Bigfoot.
Hi, I'm Larry Swim, driver of the Summit Racing Equipment, Bigfoot 21, and here we are at the Motorama here in Atlanta, Georgia. This is Bigfoot number 5. It's the tallest pickup in the world. I actually drive Bigfoot 21, the Summit Racing Equipment truck. We're glad to be here. This is my 4th year, I believe, coming to this event, and the weekend, the weather is awesome. You know, we've got a lot of rain here in years past, but this weekend is supposed to be great. So looking forward to meeting all the fans. You know, we're doing a couple car crushes today, 2 car crushes tomorrow. It's a lot of fun. There's cars, trucks, anything you can imagine and then some out here. So hope to see you all next year. Thanks for coming.
We met up with show organizer Chaz Sidney to talk about all that Atlanta Motorama had to offer.
Atlanta Motorama is a unique event. We've got vintage trailers, big rigs, plus the show cars. We got Bigfoot coming here and doing monster truck demonstrations. We do an autocross, which is one of the most popular events here, and a car auction and a car corral and a swap meet. And that's all right here this weekend. We're really happy with the weather we've got this year. We couldn't ask for anything better, and we're looking for a great Sunday after Sunday. Our Saturday's been fantastic, without a doubt the biggest crowds we've ever had here. And folks, thank you, and make your plans next year, last weekend of April. last week of April 2019. Mark your calendar now.
This week's winner of the Lokar Car Show's Pick of the Show Award, presented by McKee's 37, is Cy Stickler and his original 1963 Corvette Stingray.
All right, I bought the car new. I ordered the car in 1963 when I was in the Navy in Kingsville, Texas, and was thrilled to gave up the love of my life, 57 Chevrolet, to get this one. And I've had it ever since. Drove it as my personal car for probably 30 years, and then set it aside for a while, and finally got the bug again and put it back together. One of the things you'll notice is it has wire wheels on it, which didn't actually come on it because the aluminum wheels that Chevrolet offered were not offered in '63, so I wanted the extra wheels, so I ordered Dayton wheels, and they put it on at the dealership, so it was delivered with those wheels on it, and it's just the way it came. I've done a lot of small things to it, but it's very original, and I'm glad to be here, able to share it with folks. Because the car show's great. I've been walking around looking at stuff that, I've been loving since in the 50s. There's stuff here for everybody. I'm sort of overwhelmed with what all is here.
That's all the time we have this week on the Lokar Car Show. But be sure you catch us next week as we head out west to the California coast for the Seal Beach Classic Car Show.